Okay, it says that I am back online. Let's see if that's real or not. I don't think so. It says 0 people are watching, so that's good. Good to know that the old chat is gone and it is just me here talking to no one. Okay, says some people are here. Can you guys hear me? Is everything going okay? I can't believe I wanted to start a Twitch account when I can't get this right. Okay, let me try one thing. Is the chat not working? Am I not working? I probably can't refresh a live thing, can I? Okay, I just had to refresh my screen. Sorry about that. I wasn't getting any feedback from you guys. Okay, everybody's saying it's back. Okay. Everything is working. Phew! Okay. I just had to refresh my window. I thought that I would lose all of you guys, but I'm just a tech god, I guess. I don't know. So, like I said, next week I have a collab with Morgan, which would be, I'm really excited. I got like a little boom mic on Amazon, and I've been putting off like buying mic and audio equipment for so long. The internal microphone on my camera is fairly good, but the echo in this room is like a little annoying, so I think Morgan and I are going to film downstairs. I'm kind of worried that the mic won't come like fast enough. It's also like not necessarily a boom mic. It can mount to the top of my camera, and it also comes with like its own tripod that like hovers above you. So I'm excited for that. And I'm excited for Morgan to come over. Morgan, like, to be honest, I hit Morgan with like a collaboration idea like once a month, and there's always a ton of steam behind them, and it really just like comes down to scheduling and just like making it work, and also breaking it into 2 pieces of content so it can go on both of our channels. I think that's like sometimes the hardest part of making like a collab work, because I message Morgan with like collaboration ideas all the time, and I know there was one time there was one time where I was like, oh, Morgan, like, we should just like swap roles for the day, because although Morgan and I have like, I feel like a strong friendship, like when we're together we get along, like I'll call her on the phone without texting her first and she'll pick up. That's kind of like a big deal for me. And whenever we're on the phone, we can talk for hours, like something has to cut us off. And we're also very different too, so I thought it would be cool if we like switch roles for the day, and like I picked from Morgan's closet and I picked from like Morgan's makeup, and like vice versa, because I think that both of us have like strong identities. Even though my personal identity is like of a weak person, I still think like if she were to dress like me, it would still like represent me. But it just didn't work out because we couldn't find like a camera person, or like how do we put that content on both channels. I feel like stronger YouTubers can kind of get away with like not even having it on both channels. So the collab that we're doing next week is a lot chiller, and it's a lot more informational. It's a lot more like serious. And then I think the idea that we're going to do on her channel is a little more lighthearted. I know that's the direction she's trying to go with her channel, and I think that like when we're together, like I know that about her. I know that she's like silly and like easy to be with and easy to get along with. So for her channel, it's going to be a little more like lighthearted. But on my channel, it's going to be a little more dead serious because sometimes like I'll get Morgan on the phone and her and I have like a really similar background. Like we both like grew up kind of like online and taking pictures of ourselves and like getting different body modifications and things like that and like indexing it online. And the other day I hit her up and I was like, isn't it crazy that we did that? Like that we do that? Like, isn't that crazy? And like I don't want to give too much away, but I just think that a lot of people online get, you know, kind of fixated on like what's next. And even I like feel guilty posting like an old picture from even like 5 days ago. I'm like, oh, the tides of time have passed us and now it's time to photograph tomorrow. Or, you know, it's way less built up than that. I'm more just like over it. But I feel like our origin stories aren't always super predominant, and I'm about to give it away, so I'm going to stop myself, but I do think that there's like a lot of interest, at least for me personally, in like Morgan's origin and my origin online, so cutting it there. But that's kind of it. That's next week. If everything goes according to plan. I think a lot of the times, like, I don't hype up big things is because I want there to be leniency if they fall apart. And maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe I, like, set myself up for not having, like, super strong goals or focus because I'm like, well, if they fall apart, my expectations are low and everyone can forget my birthday and that's fine for me. But I have like a really, I don't know. I'm meeting some YouTubers next week and I'm really excited about it. I feel like it's always a secret. Like people want to like hit you with like what's coming up. Like they don't want you to know. And I don't want to break that. But last week, I was invited to YouTube DC pop-up. So there is not a YouTube space in DC, but sometimes YouTube will host pop-up spots in different cities, and they had one in DC, and it was like really nice. They came and transformed this like warehouse space. I did vlog, and the vlog is on my second channel, which is Quicken 2. So I did vlog while I was there, but a lot of the stuff that happens in these YouTube spaces is like either like confidential or you can't film it. So I was worried that the vlog wouldn't be interesting because YouTube will host classes for its creators in like certain qualification brackets, and there's a couple that I can like squeeze into. But, you know, they ask you not to take pictures or film while you're there. You can, like, take notes and everything, and I generally do. But generally during these classes, you're in a class, but, like, one of the classes was even called, like, Unlock Your Creativity. You're in a room with a bunch of other YouTubers who are successful in their right, and it's really cool to just, like, be in a room and just, like, hear things from the back end. But it's also really, like, reaffirming to be in a group of these people because, like, sometimes I do feel like I'm a crazy person, like pursuing a career on YouTube, and then you go to this space and they had like a big area where it was in like between classes, there was just like a communal area to encourage you to just work, like put on your headphones and like go on your laptop and just edit. And being in that space and seeing people like editing YouTube videos was like bliss. It was amazing. Like, you can go to a library and like see people studying and it makes sense, but like seeing everybody work on YouTube stuff was like very, very cool. I really liked it. When I went to the New York space, there wasn't like a big focus on everybody like, you know, quiet time working. But like YouTube is so great. Like, they had like a little cafe and you just like walked up and got coffee, or like had a croissant or a banana or something like that. They had these vegan like peanut butter cups that I posted a picture on my story. If you don't follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Quiet Cool Kid. It's not Quickened. If you search Quicken though, I come up. But I tried to post like as much as on my story as possible, because like I really, really do believe in YouTube, and I get really down, you know, when stuff happens with YouTube. I think it's like kind of just like, it's called something when like a crowd, like someone in a crowd like says something and then the whole crowd thinks it. I think that kind of mentality happens on YouTube a lot, and I really believe in YouTube, and I really believe that YouTube has our best interests in mind, and in like the realm of like tangibility and like making things like actually work, mob mentality. So I think that people will, like, I follow YouTube help on Twitter, so whatever people tweet, like YouTube help ends up on my like main page. And sometimes it's so ridiculous. I feel really bad for YouTube. Like, I saw this one guy and he tweeted, he was like, "Why am I getting 2 ads on the front and like before the video starts? This is unacceptable." And YouTube replied, and they were like, the creator like hosts, like the creator enables those settings. And the person replied and they were like, "This is why this platform is failing." And I was just like, what? Like, the creator enables that, and also like, why not? Like, it's just 2 ads. So I feel like people hate on YouTube very quickly as consumers. And like, that's almost like a bad example, but I think that YouTube really does provide and work the best they can around like things that are happening. I don't think that they're like secretly evil. I just think they don't have everything figured out. So I have like a lot of forgiveness for them. But while I was at, don't feel bad for YouTube, they're making a lot of money. I know that they're making a lot of money. But it's not related to how I feel about them. Like, they're making a ton of money. Sure, that's totally fine. But it's not like, it doesn't mean that I don't believe in them. And it doesn't mean that like them getting a bad rep doesn't affect me in a way where I'm like, some things are out of YouTube's control, but the public still blames YouTube. So that's kind of just like how I feel. I don't think they're like, I recognize that YouTube makes a ton of money, and it was great that they hosted me. They hosted like breakfast and lunch for all the creators. Most of the days they had a vegan option, or like they always had a bowl of fruit out. And if I ate fruit, that would have been nice for me. I just care about YouTube. That's all I'm trying to say. So it was really nice to experience and like be within YouTube and like a tangible space, because it does seem like an abstract thing and I can feel separated from it. So it was nice to be there. They hosted a couple discussions that I sat in for that were separate from the classes that I took. The classes were strictly for creators, and like you were like given permission or asked if you wanted to attend them. But then in like the main area, they held some discussions. They had a really great discussion of like creators of color, and the other discussion I sat in for was her name is, I think her name, well, I think, so I'll describe her. There was a woman who was incarcerated for like a first-time drug felony, and she was like sentenced, I believe, to life. And then Kim Kardashian like spoke to Donald Trump and had her released. You might remember who she's talking about when I explain it that way, that like sensationalized. Because when I called John, I was like, do you remember like Kim Kardashian being in the news for this? And he was like, yeah. I was like, well, that woman came to the YouTube space and like had a discussion with all of us. Like, we weren't allowed to interact with her, but she spoke, and she spoke with Susan Wojcicki, and that's the CEO of YouTube. So that was like really cool to be like, to like bear witness to, and know that like YouTube hosted that conversation and that like I could be a part of it. So it was cool. It was really cool, like, to know that YouTube is like so boundless that they have like, they host discussions like this where I could be a part of it, because like I don't know if I normally could be. So that was really cool. That was my time like in the YouTube space. Other than that, DC was really cool. It was really cold out, so I didn't get to do much. And even like at the YouTube space, I was at YouTube for like 11 hours each day. So it was like, and then the Friday I was there, I also had like a call with like my manager, my partner manager. So I felt like very YouTubed out. I had some friends in DC, but we ended up not linking because I was like, I guess I'm like on a business trip or something. But let me look at the chat because I don't have my camera and my screen are in different places. I feel like I never see ads on your videos. Do you choose that, or is it just by chance? Do you have an ad blocker? If you have an ad blocker, you can allow ads on certain channels. I think you can like whitelist them or whatever. So if you care about my content and want to whitelist my channel from ad blocker, I'd appreciate it. But to the best of my knowledge, my main channel is monetized and my second channel is not. It's just too new. My second channel has to qualify and have enough watch hours in order to go through the partner process and get reviewed in order to be monetized. All of that happened on my main channel so many years ago that like that process feels kind of far away. But yeah, on my second channel, it's not monetized yet, and I haven't really like announced it yet, but I think it needs like 400,000 watch hours or something like that. So my second channel isn't monetized, but my main channel should have ads on it. Some of my other videos, like some of my videos that are like a little sensationalized, don't have ads, but the majority of my video content should have ads. But, sorry, I'm just trying to read the chat. We're in a strange timeline, aren't we? I agree. If you pay for YouTube Red, do you know if anything goes to creators? I'm still a channel member, but I'm just wondering. Yeah, it's, I believe it's, like, a similar percentage or something like that. I've never seen any, like, direct, like, feedback against YouTube Red on the platform. I was making videos before YouTube Red was ever announced, and I don't remember much pushback. Oh, great to catch you on here too, Leslie. Thanks for being here. Let me know, like, I feel like I'm trying to, whenever I want to go live, everything has to work out. Like, I have to have, like, kind of the house to myself for the night. I have to either, like, have just finished a video, or, like, in this case, I posted a video on my second channel, so I just wanted to post something on my main tonight and catch up with you guys. I really like the lives. I think, like, I like talking to you guys in, like, a long format kind of type video. So I know I should, like, plan ahead. That would be, like, the strength in going live, but it is, like, I know if you guys have post notifications enabled for me, you'll know when I go live. So you can always click that bell. But, sorry, I'm just trying to read the chat. But yeah, let me know how you would like to be notified for these lives. You can always follow me on Instagram, which is Quiet Cool Kid. I actually got mail in my P.O. box from someone one time. I remember she wrote me a letter and sent me a gift. And she was like, sorry I don't follow you on Instagram. That's just not what I want on my feed. And I remember thinking it was pretty honest. But if you do follow me on Instagram, it is, like, up to date for the most part. I just got a notification for your live the second I finished your video. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys. A lot of people, I didn't know if I would have any new followers from James Charles's channel. I should probably maybe tweet something. Over on my YouTube channel. Okay, I just tweeted something. So now everybody's on the in. Okay. Oh, Space Sushi, new subscriber. Yeah, I did post something on my Twitter like an hour or so ago. But I would say, like, if I pulled up my phone right now, Twitter would probably be the app I spend the most time on, which is really surprising because I would say, like, a year ago it was definitely Instagram, but Twitter has really taken over my entire life. So it's funny, like, I'll post on there and I understand why it works for people, but then I also spend a ton of time on there. I feel like John and I were talking and he was like, I feel like that's the app you need the least. And I was like, no, that's not true. That's the app I need the most. What band are you listening to? I'm actually listening to The Cure. The Cure has so many albums and they've been active for so many years that I like to just, like, fall into an entire album at a time. And right now I'm listening to Pornography by The Cure. But I'm also listening to Rich Brian. I'm listening to Rich Brian constantly. He's like all I'm listening to, so I take little breaks from him to listen to The Cure. And the band I Hate Myself has a bunch of other side projects with all of the same members. So on my way to DC, I like listen to all of that because it's like a pretty quick, you can listen to all of their stuff very quickly. So they have this band Die Hafna that I was listening to, and then Burn Man, which goes really quick. Canada and Twitter sucks. Literally no Canadians use Twitter, and you have lots of Canadian followers. What do you think about the whole Michael Jackson scandal going on right now? So, I think it's a really sensitive topic, but we actually, like, in my home, had, like, a really big discussion on it last night. I was not going to watch the Michael Jackson documentary because I decided I wasn't going to watch the R. Kelly documentary, and I decided, like, I wasn't going to watch, like, the previous, like, documentary that came out. Like, I kind of, like, had this opinion of it that I, like, now thinking about it, I felt like my opinion wasn't very constructive, but I think I had every right to have it, and it was, I don't want to consume this type of media. Like, I don't want to. I was like, I don't want to think about that and consuming this kind of media. Like, I don't know what it is doing to me, but I felt like when John and I met, you know, you like binge TV shows before you like know somebody. John was like, oh, I love to binge Law and Order SVU. And I was like, okay. And after like 3 episodes, I was like, hey, like, I can't watch this. I can't watch stuff like this. It makes me really upset. And, like, there's even, like, episodes of Philip DeFranco that I'm like, I have to turn this off. Like, I'm really sorry if you wanted to watch this. So I kind of knew I couldn't watch, like, this stuff. And we have, like, a friend who only, like, watches documentaries. He's watched every documentary. He hit us up and he was like, oh, did you watch that one pinball documentary? And I was like, what? So I asked him, and he said that that Leaving Neverland, the Michael Jackson documentary, he said that I could probably watch it. He said it was, like, kind of tame. So I started watching it yesterday, and it's broken up into 3 parts. I watched the first 2 parts, and like, I like cried through almost the entire thing. And John had come home twice, and both times turned it off and was like, stop. And then he left and I turned it back on. But John has like taken on this role like the last week where I've like been kind of stressed because I was traveling, and then I get motion sickness now. I had no idea. But when I came home from DC, John, like, picked me up, and he's been, like, caring, like, a little careful. It feels like almost like I was sick, and he's, like, making sure I'm okay, but I wasn't sick. I was just kind of stressed out. So it felt very appropriate that he just, like, came and, like, turned this off and then left. And then I turned it back on. And then John had some friends over, and we were talking about it. And separate from, Hannah saying that it was not tame. I agree. I think that, like, our friend said, he compared it, he said, have you seen Abducted in Plain Sight? And I was like, no. And he said, that one's more intense. So his phrasing made me feel like it would be more tame, but I hadn't seen the documentary he compared it to, so I set myself up. I'm not going to, in the next 10 minutes, I'm not going to say where I stand. I'm just going to say that, you know, our entire lives, no matter like where you're from, you've known who Michael Jackson was, and that kind of star power is incredible. And I think that all of us in our lives have known about the allegations and have personally battled with if we believe they're true or not. And when my friend was over last night, I asked him about that phenomenon. I was like, have you ever thought critically about why you can't, like, why you feel like there's kind of this idea, like, a playful, like, yeah, he probably did it, and why we're okay with that, or why there's this idea of, like, no, like, he couldn't have done it. I was like, have you ever thought about the phenomenon that, like, surrounds Michael Jackson and why we attribute that to him? And I just think that that is the most interesting concept, because the documentary does talk about that. It does, like, address his star power. And I think it's really interesting to consume that no matter what side of the debate you are on. I think it is interesting to learn that concept. You know, take Michael Jackson's name out of it. To learn that concept, I think, was valuable to me. Obviously it, like, struck me, and it was, like, very hard to watch, but if even abstractly, like, learning that was something I took away from the documentary that I give value. So, you know, it was hard to watch, and the last, like, day I've been looking for people talking about it. I think, what's the guy's name? Who did Elon smoke that weed with? Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan had, like, a little blurb on it, so I tried to watch that, and I tried to watch, like, H3's little blurb on it, just to, like, hear people. So there's a final interview that has Oprah in it, and I get, like, very emotionally invoked with Oprah, so I have not watched that yet. I was about to, and John stopped me, but, so I watch a ton of documentaries, but I couldn't finish Abducted in Plain Sight, so I don't think I can watch Leaving Neverland. I can't comment on Abducted in Plain Sight, but I can say that, like, Leaving Neverland, it puts you in a position. I think it does a really great job of putting you in, like, everyone they interview, I think it does a great job of putting you in their position. I think it paints a really great picture. And I think that, like, storytelling is really strong, and it's something I'm really affected by. So I thought that it was an effective documentary. But yeah, it was unsettling. It was hard to watch. And I cried through the entire thing. But I do think it was perspective that I didn't know previously. And yeah, that's kind of it. But is Leaving Neverland all about the allegations? So it's from the perspective of two victims and then their families and then, like, the reach of Michael Jackson globally. And I think that that is pretty interesting. And that's, I mean, one thing that I thought was valuable about the documentary was just, like, both people didn't think that they were victims until they got older. So I thought that was interesting too, like, but anyway, I don't want to, like, say where I fall on that. I think that I shouldn't do that. And as far as, like, R. Kelly, and this is, like, where I want to pivot, I don't know. That's, like, I don't really know how to deal with any of that. I've never followed R. Kelly's career, so I've only ever known him as his allegations, like, my entire life. So, like, when he pops up in the news, that's when I hear about him. So I think that my understanding of him is already biased. So right now I'm just reading the chat. I'm getting my first tattoo next week and picked up Dr. Bronner's and Alba Botanica, and I feel prepared because of you. Well, that's great news. I'm super excited about that and glad that you found that information from me. So I posted this tweet and I deleted it because I just felt like there wasn't enough context to provide with, like, the character limit. But when I met Susan Wojcicki, from the CEO of YouTube, I was really excited to meet her. And, like, after the discussion she hosted, she came out into, like, the crowd so people could talk to her. And when I got my chance to talk to her, she had said that, like, she had been told, like, what, like, prepped on, like, what creators were there. Because it wasn't just YouTubers there. There were a lot of, someone explained it to me and they said, like, a lot of people from Capitol Hill came to hear the talk as well because it was, like, a little politically driven. So she said that she was, like, prepped on what YouTubers would be there. And when she met me, like, I was fully clothed, and she was like, it doesn't look like, she's like, you don't look like you have tattoos. And I thought that was kind of exciting, and not in, like, a, I think people maybe, like, jump to conclusions on that phrasing. I don't think she meant anything harmful by it. I think she just kind of meant, like, you have a tattoo channel, but you're not wearing, like, any of your tattoos out. And, like, my subscribers know that, like, I don't, like, personally, I just like being able to turn them off. And there are times, like, I wish I was visibly tattooed. And honestly, I always am. Like, this tattoo goes down pretty far. I would say generally my sleeves end, like, right here. Or if I, like, reach, the sleeve comes up. So I would say, like, and the tattoos on my hands, like, never go away. But at a glance, especially in the winter, I don't seem tattooed. I think I seem kind of comely. Because, I don't know why. But that's my own image of myself. So when Susan said that, it was just, like, kind of exciting to me. It wasn't any problem or some shit she was trying to start with me. Like, you don't even have tattoos. Or, like, what do you think a tattooed person looks like, Susan? It wasn't anything like that. I just, like, start that with her. But then she pulled up my channel and she was like, my channel trailer, she was like, so this is you. And I was like, yeah. I guess I really need a haircut. No, I didn't say that. So it was cool to talk to her. You know, I never really know what to say. Like, when I met Mikey from Glam and Gore, I thought I would have something to say. And then I was like, how do you build a following? You know, something stupid and, like, a waste of their time to answer. And with Susan, I was just like, how do you create a lot of content that diverts from your main focus? Or something like that. And I did ask her if it was true that if you have, like, a main focus on your channel and you also post things that, like, aren't in that same category as your channel if it like hurts your channel. And she said she'd never heard of anything like that. So it could have been my phrasing, because even now I'm not saying it well. But from Susan's mouth. But I thought that was pretty interesting. I think just like analytically it makes sense that, you know, if I normally post tattoo content and then I post a vlog, most people won't watch it. So I think that like what I said goes beyond being a theory, but I guess I get it. But let me look in the chat. But yeah, I that like made me feel excited that Susan said that, and not for like any reason. But then I just deleted that off my Twitter because someone responded and they were like, "Can you explain that?" And I was like, "No, bye. Gotta delete." Your video on the ABBA letter was so awesome, just saying. Thank you so much. Yeah, so there was actually an update to like the field on 27th and Girard, where the ABBA letter said it's going to take place. A ABBA, like wooden ABBA structure has appeared. I posted a picture on my Instagram at Quiet Cool Kid, and yeah, I walked over there and I was just like, what the fuck? Maybe that's why people have main channels and vlog channels. Yeah, for the longest time, I didn't think I would have a separate vlog channel. And then I did Vlogmas last year, and there wasn't a ton of interest for it. But there's always like a ton of support for it. So it gives me like mixed messages as a creator. And I do like making vlogs. But I don't like, my channel isn't super vlog focused, so like I don't like really carry my vlog camera around too often, and my vlogs don't always have like a theme. So I think people who expect like a vlogger might support it, but then you guys generally support it. So I think, you know, putting it on a second channel is okay. But you know, I mentioned this on my last live stream, like John was a little worried that like I might get overworked if I have a second channel, but I'm kind of excited for it to grow and be its own thing and like have its own like chiller kind of vibe and following and people on it. So I love both of your channels. I'm saddened that channels need to be separate for different content though. I find it hard to manage. Almost all the channels I follow have 2 channels now. Unfortunately, that's kind of just like what works best for the creator. I understand that it kind of can undermine the subscriber. And even recently, I got a comment that was like, I want to support you and like your videos, but I used my likes as a playlist for videos. So I don't like your videos because I don't want them on there. And, you know, viewers can create playlists just like YouTubers can. So someone can make a playlist outside of their likes if they wanted to categorize things in a playlist. But I just thought it would be rude if I replied to that and be like, well, you know, you can make a playlist and then like my videos. But I do agree that maybe YouTube could index it differently. But yeah, I mean, the like system does affect the video and it does affect the algorithm. It just so happens to also be tied to something that you could view. I wish it was like a little more disposable, like Instagram likes, but you can always like create a separate playlist. I just didn't want to say that to them. I thought it would be rude. But I do understand like viewers sometimes I feel like get left out of some of the like optimization features, or they're not always like very apparent, Or if like a new feature tutorial pops up, we usually just X out of it. I didn't realize likes made such a difference on YouTube. Yeah, so with my partner manager, she gave me like a slideshow on like myths and facts. And I did ask her about like the trending page, and she said that to get a video trending, it has to do with views, likes, and shares. So, not that I think any of my videos will ever trend, but the algorithm does look at those things, and it does look at shares as well. Oh my god, I'm going to like all your videos now. Well, thank you. I never like anything because as a user, it's not obvious that it makes a big difference. I think, and this is something I talked about in my class, I have a hard time with self-promotion. And in my class, I even said that, like, I've humbled myself to death. And, like, I feel like when I say subscribe to my channel if you're new, it's like me scared. I'm like, if you like it, you could subscribe, I don't know. And I feel like I don't have like a strong like authoritative voice, but I don't in life either, you know. One kid explained it to me. He was really cool. He's a YouTube channel with I think over 1 million subscribers, where he does like English language kids songs, but I think like to animations, and he said he like lived in Korea, so there's some aspect of that to his channel. Anyway, he was like, I don't have a hard time promoting myself when I'm proud of myself. And I was like, well, buddy. I was like, I hate myself. Hi. But I was like, oh, well, like, I'm a little, like, self-depreciating by nature. Sometimes it's funny. And he was like, well, since his channel has, like, an animation aspect to it, he's like, well, I went to an animators convention, and when I would introduce myself to people, I would say, you know, I have so many million subscribers on YouTube. I have animations. And I was like, that does sound helpful when you introduce yourself to people. That does paint a picture. And then I tried to think of myself, like, if I went to a convention, I would just be like, hi, don't you want to ask me something? I'm not just gonna tell you without you asking. I don't really know where that behavior stems from. Like, I can think about it constantly and be like, was I raised a certain way? And like, my mom did raise us to like be super grateful of everything all the time, and to say please and thank you always, and to never be ungrateful and stuff. And I wonder if like I'm so grateful that like people subscribe that I don't even want to be like, well, you're already here, so you could like it, I guess. Maybe that's it, or just like, you know, wanting to have like a humble presence online. But you see that people who do promote themselves benefit from it, and like I see that, and even hearing the guy in my class say it sounded good to me. But I just told him that, like, you know, I'm like very humble. And I think that like even you guys being like, I didn't know that likes affected your channel, I feel like that's something I miscommunicated, being so weird. But how, like, let's do an exercise. Like, how would you want to hear that? Like, hey, I just made this video, I worked really hard, so if you could like it, that would validate my hard work, and it would boost the video doing well. Ask us for likes. Oh no, my one light went out. So, ask Jeffree Star for advice. What does he say? Does he say like my video? I'm already saying like my video. I think you guys are also very used to hearing it. You know? Yo, just be real. Yeah, it's hard because, like, I am pretty modest. And, like, I, like, at the end of the day, feel like I'm undeserving. And it sucks that that presence gets passed through my content even when I believe my content is good. It's funny, like, I was giving advice to this other channel. It's like this channel where the guy creates fantasy characters for, like, things that already exist, like adds fantasy characters like Smash Brothers or like Sonic or Mario. And he was like, I don't do a ton of face reveals. He just kind of shows his computer programming. He was like, I don't really know how to incorporate that, but my videos that have a little personality do better. And I was like, you should make a character. You should make a evil professor character. And then when he presented, he was like, Quicken told me that I could introduce characters to my channel. I think that would be, I was like, oh my god. No, don't talk to me. Don't talk about it. But I was like, damn, if only I could have a character. Let's get this video to 20,000 likes. I know, doesn't that hurt? It might help if you remind people it's an option instead of a feeling, like you're obligating them to do something by asking. I guess I don't understand what that means. Obliterate that like button, fam. I also feel like there's just not enough time in my videos for me to, like, for 5 minutes explain, like, it's important when you like my videos. In my Abba letter video, I did try to, like, take time to be like, this is why. But if you want to help, liking would help a lot. I think I'm comfortable with that. I like that. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, like I need personality training. Throw it in your outro speech. I do. It's very telling that you guys don't hear it because I always say it. I say it all the time. I'm obviously not being like like more forthright about it. I swear I always say it. No, I do say it. I say it in the end card. I swear I say it. You should collab with Shane and get him to do a 3-part Quicken series. I'll just ask him. I think that, so Shane is supposed to have a conversation with Susan Wojcicki, and I think that that's going to be super sick. I think I just have to practice saying it. I don't watch the outro card. It's fine. It's not very good. Not everyone is going to watch till the end. People don't notice that you say it because it's not unique enough. What other YouTubers do you watch? I do want to work on it being unique. And I do feel guilty asking, so I have to work on not hating myself. I would love to meet Shane. I will just text him. Maybe hit the thumbs up button if you want, I guess. I swear that's what I already say. You gotta yell. No. Oh my god. Let me put my light on the charger, because if the blue light goes out, it's over. It's over for you guys. I have a second battery. Here's. And she's dead. Sorry, Miss Keisha. Where are the cats? How are they? So I keep the cats out of the office just because they wreck shit and I can't stop them. And I don't want to limit them creatively, so I just keep them out of here. I'll let PB in here, but it's supervised. I have to like bring her in here. It's not her idea. But I keep some plants in here that the cats like seek and destroy. And the area is like really unorganized, and I do need like some wire solutions. So but I'll foreshadow this room will be remodeled soon. Will you like that video? Leave a like if you drink dumb bitch juice. True, I should say that. Wait, I saw something in the chat I wanted to read. Can't spell squack without quack. Why? Ethan gets to eat next month. Guilt us. If you don't like this video, I will starve my cats, and people will email me aggressively believing what I say. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat. Oh, what's your opinion on the PETA thing? Ugh. I wanted to, so if you follow me on, sorry, this part of my tattoo is raised. If you follow me on Twitter, I was talking about how I'm going to have a Quicken competition. So I held a Quicken contest a couple years ago, I believe in 2015. And if you entered it, I believe I follow you. I think I followed everyone from that. It was a long time ago. So that's where like my original Quicken banner came from. My current Quicken banner is actually someone who also entered that contest, and like I followed them. She's amazing too. So I wanted to have another Quicken contest this year, and you guys are getting the exclusive because I haven't announced it yet. But I will make a separate video talking about the contest and the rules and the guidelines and the due date. But the first Quicken contest was so fun, and the only reason I haven't had another one was it was hard for us to judge because we liked all of the entries, you know? So that was kind of difficult, and the prize was like almost like a giveaway. The prize was like items. And I think whenever the prize is like physical stuff, one, it makes things more difficult internationally, and with shipping, like that makes things just difficult, and like guarantee that things ship, because like sending things overseas, I just feel like is a gamble for some reason. I've had mixed luck with that. So I just never had another contest again because my heart couldn't handle it. So this year, like, I just feel like so much of this channel, like, what is so great about this community is that it hosts so many creatives, and I wanted to have a contest for a channel trailer. So I am like in the middle of having like a little bit of rebranding for my channel from one of you guys. And my first meeting, the official meeting, is tomorrow. So I was like, well, I don't want to interrupt that. And I was in the process of creating a new channel trailer anyway. Like, if you think of channel trailers, like you probably don't see my channel trailer because you don't see it if you're subscribed. But if you think like Graveyard Girl has a channel trailer where it kind of just like, let me say these words separate because I live in Philly, so channel trailer. So if you go to like Graveyard Girl and you're not subscribed, you'll see like, it's almost like a commercial for her channel. So my last channel trailer was like a combo of all of the submissions from Quicken Contest. And I thought it would be really cool to host a contest where you can submit a channel trailer. And then the winning trailer I will use on my channel. And I was thinking like, you don't even have to like, I don't know, like you don't have to be any sort of thing. Like, I don't think any person will have a better chance than someone else. Like, someone could just stand in front of a camera and like have a gag or like pretend they're like a newscaster or something. I think that anyone could have a chance to enter this as long as they like feel comfortable or like own a camera. So I do want to like figure out some guidelines, like how to say that best. But yeah, I think a Quicken Contest where the winner gets the channel trailer spot on my channel will be really cool. So I think having guidelines like announcing that it's my channel, having like a call to action like subscribe, or like why people should subscribe, I think it would be really cool. And I don't get to spend enough time with you guys. Like, it does feel one-sided sometimes, but whenever I can, I think it's cool. Like, whenever somebody tweets me like an inside joke from this channel, like it's always really funny. So I thought like the channel trailer contest would be really cool. So can it be like digital like drawings? Yeah, so it could be anything, I guess, that could... Let me like pull up a good example. No, my computer might explode if I do that. I think that like the Sorry Girls might have a good one.
Guys, can you just get a little closer together? Yeah. Come on! Sorry. Sorry.
This might get demonetized. Okay, so just like, I feel like it shows what they do. Like, it gives you like a snapshot of what you can anticipate from their channel, and also like introduces them. And it shows up if somebody isn't subscribed. So it's not like it's not an intro. It shows up on your channel if someone isn't subscribed to you. And you have to have it there. So if you go to somebody's channel who you're not subscribed to and you're like, they don't have a channel trailer, you have to record it and like put it there. But and like, yeah, just anything I feel like would qualify, like any short form video, no matter what it is, like a skit or an animation or like a video, a PowerPoint, like basically anything. But that is going to be the Quicken Contest of this year. My birthday is in April, so I was kind of thinking maybe those events could coincide with one another. Like, it could end on my birthday or like the week of my birthday, or just be like a massive Aries kind of moment. Is your rebranding going to happen before so we know what style to fit it in with? That's a good point. Since I have my meeting with the artist tomorrow, I would say generally, like, my channel banner took like 3 months to receive. So I would say no. But I think it would be okay. Like, I don't think they have to match. I think it would be nice if they matched. I think that's a really good idea. But I want, like, when my branding comes out, I want to, like, just, like, drop it on you guys. So I don't want to, like, hint at it. But that's okay. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I feel like your style is punk at Old Navy. I've just been dragged. I've been dragged and exposed. And it's true. Don't mind me. John was supposed to come home and make tacos. He probably thinks I'm watching Michael Jackson. How's your hair holding up? Are you doing YouTube full time now? Yes, I am. Doing YouTube full time. And I'm a full-time mommy. I'm just kidding. My stomach hurts. Will there be any merch with this rebranding? I'm trying to lean towards merch this year, but I'm such like a wishy-washy bitch with that commitment that you'll hear an announcement, but I don't want to like set myself up for failure. Your trailer needs to be a shitty PowerPoint presentation made by a 10-year-old. Honestly, the mood though. If my little brother made me a channel trailer, I would use it. But he's so much cooler than me that if I asked him, he would just say no. And, like, not ask for me to elaborate or anything. Not be like, well, what does that consist of? He would just say no. PowerPoint's so down. I'm excited. So, all the submissions I want to still make a video for, like, us going through them. So it won't be like we just pick. It'll be like a full-on celebration. It'll be really cool. For the previous Quicken contest, we like built like a news anchor sort of set to like present them. So it was a lot of fun. Is this like... How's that? Yeah, I'm just doing YouTube full time until I become James Charles' personal assistant, and then I'll kind of switch between both. I don't work at a salon anymore. I just do YouTube, and I do hair for people I know or people who ask. And I wish I could do my own hair, you know? I have an idea for a video. I'll definitely try to make something, especially because I'm still building out my motion graphics reel and I need an excuse to animate. I think that that is awesome. We love an excuse. This is such a cool and original contest. I love it. Yeah, it's crazy. I like my first couple years on YouTube, I like didn't hold back and I wasn't influenced by anybody because I didn't consume a lot of YouTube yet. So I feel like I limited myself a lot when like my YouTube channel like really started taking off and I felt like people were watching it. And you know, everybody kind of falls into this where they start making content for their audience and not for themselves. So I'm really just trying to get back to like my roots and everything I've learned and like editing and different things like that. Just trying to take my experience and bring it to like the next chapter, which is a very long-winded way of being like, I liked doing that shit before and I just like stopped myself. We need a Quicken podcast. So I know that there's like all these extracurriculars and there's all these different like mediums that I can find myself on, but I do at least want to put research into creating a Twitch stream, like a Twitch channel. I think that this back room needs to be fixed up first, which a little bit sounds like an excuse. Like, I'll hear people make the same excuses as me and be able to identify them, and here I am making it. But, I think that gaming is, like, pretty relaxing, and I do think that a lot of the games I like to play are a touch underrepresented. I don't know how I would do DDR on Twitch. I really don't. That's my favorite game that I play. But we just bought an N64 last weekend and things like that, and I don't know, I think it would be really fun to do Twitch and different things like that. If you have a favorite Twitch streamer or Twitch things that you want me to know about, if you were teaching a caveman about Twitch, please drop a line on my Twitter, because I think that that's the next thing I want to explore. But just be careful not to pull an Emma Blackery and not put too much on your plate. That's the thing. That is the thing. But I don't want to put too many eggs in one basket either, so I don't know. I've been streaming on Twitch for 3 years. I can help. Thank you. I know I did ask for help on Twitter the other day, and a couple of you guys did message me, so I am grateful for the people who've already talked to me. I'm not trying to undermine you guys. But I actually don't really understand Twitch that much. I know I should just hit up my friend Hannah, but that's like, Twitch DDR is real. I just don't, how many cameras do I need? How many freaking cameras? Because John and I go to this pinball arcade where we play DDR and we pay hourly, and a lot of people go to the pinball arcade and they have a Twitch streamer who streams from the pinball contests. So I know she would be cool with it. Last time we were there, she was like, if you ever need us to turn up the volume for you guys or anything, or change anything, like, we'll do it. So I think we could stream from the pinball gallery, but it's a lot, yeah. Like, I don't even know where my current life is. I created a calendar for myself and just like left it downstairs, and that was 2 weeks ago. So I do need to like overhaul my own life first before. I feel like if I didn't own anything, it would be a lot easier. When I was staying at the Airbnb and there was just like bare bones, nothing there, I felt great. I was like, there's nothing here. There's just nothing. John and I have so much stuff. Marie, can you hear me? But I want to hear from the chat. I'm a minimalist. I can help, please. I'm dying. Really, it's just this back room. I had like a lot of aspirations for it, and I'm just like waiting to move forward with everything like that. And then I also start like 50 hobbies a month, and just like they all fizzle out. Like, all my resin casts are downstairs, and the resin was like making me fucked up, so I stopped doing it. Do we have to call John? Like, when will we get our tacos? It's almost 9 o'clock, John. For real. I'm a game developer. Hit me up. You guys are the best. When people think I have no friends, they're wrong. Taco emergency. Hey, what's going on with you? Okay, am I speaking to the chef of the night?
Yeah, actually, I was just, Nancy too, and I was just saying that I have to make tacos tonight. Fucking kill me.
Oh my god, I never would. That's not a fair representation of me.
Yeah, it is. I was talking to her about how
Well, thanks, Papa.
proud of you.
I'm proud of you. Alright, why don't you come on?
Alright, I'll
Alright, I love you.
you soon.
Bye. I have my phone at like the most volume. My ears don't work. What is you and John's respective taco spice level? Wow. Let's get into it. I have a sensitive tum-tum. So I use mild, and it's kind of a new development. I used to use plain. And John is a spicy boy. John has like all different like spices for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Cristal and stuff like that. I like things mild. I think it helps me eat the most, and I like to eat the most. It's not about 1 being real good. It's about 8 being okay. I am really into soft shell tacos right now. What do you eat as taco filling? So we get the Gardein ground crumbles. We used to get the Wegmans brand, but they reformulated and it's not as good. So we get the Gardein brand. Boca crumbles are vegan, but I never see them anywhere. They used to be the standard in like the little red bag, and now I never see them. But the Gardein ones are good. We have to get them at Target because they don't sell them at Wegmans. It's a crime. So we get those and fry them up, and then Dietary makes a like Mexican blend, and we get that. And when I have tacos, I want like fresh lettuce and tomato. That's important to me. And then like whatever else, if there's like an avocado lying around, if there's not, it's fine. But so corn, I see corn in the chat, isn't vegan. It has egg in the crumbles. But because we were going to switch to corn, and I haven't had it since I was vegetarian, and I told John I hadn't had it for a long time. So we checked into it, and you have to read corn. It's kind of like it's kind of like Morningstar, like not everything's vegan. But Morningstar did announce today that Morningstar is going to try like to become vegan fully in the next 2 years. Great news for like newcomers, you know, all of that'll be really easy. I thought I was gonna make an entire video just dedicated to it, but because I really want to I really want to make a video instead of you laugh you lose, you cry you lose, because I swear like the last week, any picture or any video of like a goat taking care of a puppy or like anything like that just like sets me off. If any of you guys, and I'm being so for real, wanted to create some sort of list for me to react to that is like all that feel good might cry, definitely hit me up on Twitter. That is like a you laugh you cry. If I don't sell that to James Charles, that's a video I want to do because all that stuff gets me so good. Anyway, I almost cried today thinking about Morningstar being fully vegan because the first veggie burger I ever had, I have an entire video about like my vegan story on my YouTube channel, but you guys might not know, but I thought that being vegan was bullshit. I thought that it was like weird, like just insane. It was insane to me. The first vegan I ever met, I thought it was the craziest thing I had ever heard of. I was like, what do you do ever? So that's some background knowledge. I literally thought veganism was the craziest thing I'd ever heard of. So the very first item I had as a vegetarian was the Morningstar like Asian style burger patty, and I loved it. It was the only thing I had. I remember the very first night I had that was the first night I had ever tried soy milk in my life, and my plunge into being vegan was like an elevator like falling down the shaft. It was like, I thought it was insane, and then I became a vegetarian and vegan, just like whew. I was like, oh, I guess. It just very quickly changed my entire life on some research. But those Asian patties, every time I see them in the supermarket, I feel very emotionally attached to them because those were like the two products I ate to assure myself that I was like about to do this and that I could sustain it. If someone gave me like a block of tofu out of the fridge with a fork, I don't think I would be vegan today because I'd be like, what? I knew you guys were crazy. But it really was that like fake ass burger, and I put like soy sauce on it. It was so I would eat so many of them. Just imagining that potentially being vegan one day just like chokes me up. So, Ryan Little is in the chat! Oh my god. I see you doing your best. So, I just like, I can't wait for that to be vegan. Also, when I used to pack John's lunches, he gets the Morningstar black bean burgers for his lunches. He's not currently taking a packed lunch, but every time I would make those, I wish I could just like it's really weird that they're not vegan either, but they have egg in them. I think they're like marketed as like a protein delight, so I understand why. Sour Patch Panda is also in the chat. Ryan Little is a good friend of this channel, so I was excited to see. My doctor literally yelled at me. I used to faint all the time. I wonder, like, what my blood looks like, but I don't really know how to get that checked. Sorry, my old computer monitor is just on the floor in here. I don't know what to do with it. It's got my data in it. I heard it's expensive to get blood work done in the States. Is that true? Yes. I looked up, there's been so many anemia like gags on Twitter lately that I looked up the symptoms. And I think I'm okay. But yeah, I thought I was anemic for like a half hour. Like earlier this week. No, coming from a clueless Canadian, I'm sorry. No. It's just like, I don't have health insurance. So if it's like just sad and like funny to me at this point. But, I don't know. Speaking of blood work, been following the Theranos stuff? No, what's that? What's happening? I don't know. So John and I want to go to VidCon. So when I was at YouTube school, there was this channel called the Scories, and they like make content for tweens. And the Scories ended up being sick besties at the class, honestly. I subscribed, but after the class there was like a little powwow, and the Scories actually talked to me and asked if I was vegan because I wasn't eating any of the food, and I was like, yeah, so I like didn't want to bother anybody. And they were like, no, we're vegan too. So the Scories were sick, and they told me to go to VidCon, and I was like, I don't think that VidCon is like for me. I've seen like a ton of videos about it, and it seems kind of crazy. And they said that like I would actually really like VidCon, and that there's like a lot of good information for creators, so I won't bore you with all that. But I asked John, and he said, you know, if he can take off of work, that it might be something we would do. So that's up in the air. I might like do some crowdsourcing with that and sell some Bronco pins. So I just have to actually look it up and make sure they're not sold out, or if I missed it. I've only had this idea for one day, but I just have too many ideas. I had this idea for a video where I would go and get like blood work done to see what my vegan like blood was like, but I just have like too many video ideas every single day. I'm in the LA area and honestly pay to go to VidCon just to take a selfie with you. So that's like another thing, like in tattoo convention. What if I go to VidCon and like I can't meet people? Like what if it's not like that? Don't you like think that this would have a mirror in it? That's what I'm playing with right now. I'd be curious, but that's so much money for a vid. Yeah, but it's probably stuff I should know when it comes to stuff like that. So I came up with this series, but I want to film a couple of episodes for it first. So I felt like it could work in a series I'm already working on. I have this other series that I already filmed 3 episodes for. And it was like kind of a higher budget film. Not really actually, but we had to spend money in the videos, and I paid Rosie to help me with it. And I haven't edited any of those. That's where I'm at. So if you asked me what the tea was with James Charles, James Charles is a creator on YouTube. I think I mentioned him in my last live stream that I think I mentioned like his involvement with new media, because he went to the UK and his meetup was like so massive that there was like a traffic jam that ended up getting reported on the news, and like the newscast said like some hateful shit. But if you don't know who James Charles is, I think he just hit 15 million subscribers. He had a post on Twitter where he was looking to have like some creators on like his team, like a creative team. And he worded it better than I'm saying it right now. He was looking for people to help him with like his creating process for his videos. And I tweeted him and told him that like I have like a ton of ideas all the time, but they just don't all work on my channel, or like I don't have the resources to create at the level that like I want to, or like that I have the potential for. I didn't say all that, but like I just said that like I have more ideas than I can facilitate on my channel, and that I would be on his creative team if he hired me. And we were in the DMs. He saw my tweet, so that was really cool. And a lot of you guys like boosted that tweet, which was cool, because I was just gonna reply to him real quietly and not talk about it and hope that like no one saw it. But you guys were really supportive of me talking to him. So that's all I really know for now. I know he's trying to build a team. He doesn't want just one me, even though like that's fine, he could. But you know, I'm based out of Philly, and he asked me about that, and we own our house, so so that was like pretty exciting for me. I feel like the internet gives you like a ton of those like highs and lows, so that was just like pretty exciting. To talk to James Charles and be like, you know, I think one of my strengths is like having a ton of ideas and like creative ideas, but I just don't have the time or the resources or just like the ability or like the mental capacity to take on a lot of them. So it was cool. I don't know how all of that would work, like selling ideas to James Charles. Like they didn't prepare me for that in beauty school. But I think it would be really cool. You know, I'm not someone who would take anything away from James Charles, because we do exist in different categories on YouTube. And I hope he never sees this, but like my younger brothers are like in between his age, and like I always wish my brothers would spend more time with me. So being able to talk to James Charles was like really nice, because I do love my siblings so much. So it would be really cool to hang out with like a little James Charles. He's not that much younger than me, and he's really successful and creative. But I don't know. Like when I get to spend time with my brothers, it's so cool, because they're like younger and interesting, and just like there's just like a different thing about them, like just a different generational thing about them. Even like our friend Callan, who's been hanging out with us a lot lately, he helped me film all the like B-roll for that Starbucks video I just posted. There's just something cheerful about him in his youth that I love. And you know, James Charles, like a little history on him, he used to like do hair in his basement and stuff like that, so I think it would be really cool. So my light went out again. So getting to talk to James Charles even briefly was cool, and that's kind of just like the tea on that whole situation. Like he's trying to like build a creative team, and if he picks me to be on it, I think I'm qualified and dedicated and would die for him or something. Like I'll take that on. It's fine. I'm not doing anything else with my body. I'll just throw it down the stairs. It's fine. What do they say in Always Sunny in Philadelphia? He says, throw it in the trash. My body, just throw it in the trash. I wouldn't have known that you had that interaction with James Charles, but that's so precious. Getting perspective from James Charles would be really cool. I think it would be really cool. I think that, like, him talking to smaller creators, or, like, you know, people like me who can't facilitate, like, all their ideas, or, like, I don't, like, at the end of the day, I don't have a beauty channel. It doesn't mean that, like, I don't have a ton of ideas for beauty related content. It just, like, wouldn't make sense on my channel sometimes, you know? But it doesn't mean that, like, I don't have those ideas, or, like, I don't have the same connections as him. Like, if I was like, you would have a really great collab with this creator who I don't know or have anything in common with, so, like, why would I? It'd just be cool. I would be here for him doing your makeup. Me too. Like, how do you feel about Shane Dawson's recent couple of docuseries? Do you think he's changing the platform of YouTube to be taken more seriously for documentary type videos? So, I don't want to get too sappy about YouTube. I talked about it in the beginning of this live stream, but, like, I love YouTube. I care about YouTube. If YouTube was a person, it would be invited to my birthday, and I would expect it to show up. I think that YouTube is a great platform for storytelling, and one of the creators, I went to, like, a little, like, discussion, and one of the creators who was talking at the Creators of Color discussion said that he had a small record label, and every time, like, something was happening with his record label or, like, one of his artists, he would have to pay to put that information in the newspaper. And you hear that and you're like, well, I guess that makes sense. Someone has to be paid or whatever, but at the same time, you're also like, I understand where that creates, like, a problem. And he said that although he only had, like, 2 artists on his record label, it quickly turned into him, like, dipping into his own pocket to, like, facilitate this record label. He said that he turned to YouTube to put out the content that he couldn't facilitate, like, because he couldn't get, like, his information in the newspaper, and he didn't know how to spread it. So I thought that that was so cool that, like, YouTube was a platform for him, and to create the content that he couldn't get out there. And even though it's not reaching a massive audience, I mean, in his right, yes, he's successful, but, like, even though it's not reaching this, like, massive audience, everybody has a channel. Like, everybody has the same opportunity to, like, have a voice. So I thought that that was really special and a really unique perspective to hear. Like, I know that it's a YouTube channel. I know I say the word every day, but when you hear it explained like that, it's really, it's captivating and it's special again. So I think that Shane making those documentary series, I think it's really special, because although, like, he's qualified for it, like, Shane doesn't have a TV show, and maybe Shane won't ever have a TV show, but Shane has found a lot of success on YouTube where he grew completely organically, and, like, that's so special, you know? Like MTV wishes, you know? So I think it's really cool. I think it's cool that Shane has, like, these documentary series, and that they're really well done. It's intimidating. It's awesome. It's exciting. I think that they're well done. I'm a blogger right now. I've always wondered about transitioning to YouTube. Thoughts? If you think about it at all, like, you have to, how do I say this? Get on it. Like, do it. Like, do it right away. figure out how to fit it into your schedule and do it as soon as possible. Who I was talking to, Susan or Jackie? No, who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody about it, who I was like, did you know that like kids will say that like on career day that they want to be YouTubers? And the person was like, no. And I was like, it's true. Like, I think if you want to do YouTube, you have to start it now. And that people have been thinking about it for a long time, and when they like hit the ground, they'll hit the ground running, you know? So it's better to do it as soon as possible. We're out here on the live stream. Skincare update. My skin is so dry. So we have almost been on here for 2 hours, so I just want to answer like 1 or 2 more questions. Robbie, I would do anything to help your YouTube channel. I was in Drexel Hill the other day. I went past Drexel Hill to buy my N64. Taco update. There are no tacos. What if you want to start a channel and you don't think you have good enough equipment? So in 2015, I created a video on how to YouTube on a budget. And in that video, I show a free video editing software I used. I used 2 can lights from Home Depot as my lighting. And I filmed everything on my iPod Touch. That was all stuff I already had. I think you just have to start somewhere. And if you, like earlier I said, I'm making an excuse that I can't start Twitch until I clean this room. But it really is just an excuse. Like, you have to start somewhere. And there will be people who are absolutely prepared to launch their channel. But you can create some videos that maybe aren't that good. When you get the equipment, refilm them and delete the old ones. Like, if you really want to protect the integrity of that idea, or show your growth. I have always been excited to show my growth. And, like, yeah, there's some videos I wish and maybe should refilm now. And, you know, in a couple days when my microphone comes, like, that'll be really exciting. And it's something I look forward to. But I think it's better to start small. I showed my little sister the video you made of vegan police, and she wanted to be a YouTuber the next day. That video actually got demonetized. Why? Have you ever considered long-distance collaborations with other tattoo YouTubers? Yes. I communicate long distance a lot with a lot of YouTubers that are kind of bunched into my, like, demographic. And, you know, all of us are just doing our own thing, I guess. So, I mean, I've reached out to people and, like, planted the seed, you know. Are you going to do Toynbee tile related video? Okay, I'll end the stream with this. So my friend Logan, he watched my video about the ABBA letter and was like, hey, like, last time we hung out, you, like, pointed to some shit on the ground, and I didn't know what you were talking about, but I realized you were talking about Toynbee tiles. And I was like, yeah, like, I'm really interested in this. Like, thanks a lot. And he was like, I'm interested in them too. So I was like, do you want to do some, like, espionage with me? And Logan was like, yeah. So the guy from the Toynbee Tile documentary is in a band, and it's really good. And I knew that they were going to be playing because I had tried to contact him to be like a part of my video, but he's like super punk. He was in this other squatters documentary that I used to watch. Not used to watch, like I watched it, but it's like 4 or 5 parts. And when I'm telling you, his YouTube channel is 11 years old. It's 11 years old. If you search Philadelphia squatters documentary and the user's account is 11 years old, you're on the right track. So he was in this squatter documentary, and he's like real deal punk. So when he didn't reply to my message, I knew it was because he didn't know how. And I'm kidding. And I saw that he had a flyer for his band. I was like, Logan, will you go to the show with me? And he was like, yeah. So we went to the show, like, in the middle of West Philly. Logan was like, how do you even know where you're going? The venue was just, like, a first level of a house that just didn't have anything in it. Like, no dividing walls, no partition between kitchen, and it was just it was so sick. I actually loved being there. I posted a little clip while I was there, and my friend Justine asked me where I was, if I was okay. It was so cool to be amongst, like, obviously punks, but like a bunch of people who were just like letting their creativity just come out. Like, the first band was like experimental, like kind of goth music, a lot of noise influence, and it was so good. And then the guy, Justin, from the documentary, his band came out, and it was so good. I felt so good. Logan posted like a video from it. It was so sick. His like take on it was so good. I took some video while I was there, but I was trying to like live in the moment. Oh my god, hi. So our plan is to like kind of, I guess, not take Justin's idea, but to be influenced by it and kind of like go on and find some more Toynbee tiles, because like how I was explaining it was, we will see all of the Toynbee tiles disappear in our lifetime. And not to sound like threatening, like one day there will be no Toynbee tiles left or pandas by. But the way Philadelphia is going, there's so much construction and things going on like that the roads will be repaved and the Toynbee tiles will be covered. So I think exploring it with urgency, I think, is like where we're going to take it. So I'm really excited about that. Race against the pave, it's on. So that's the direction we're going to go with all the Toynbee stuff. I think like the first day that we were going to approach it, it snowed. So I think just like waiting for the weather to break is our best move. I think all of my stuff will improve when the weather gets better. My house and my hygiene and everything of that nature. Pixie Locks and I are in discussions. I'm assuming our discussions are private, but she's just like really busy. So that's just where that is. I love your little Philly news episodes. Thanks. I'm trying to get on Streets Apartments like podcast. Like, hey, sup? I think we went to the same preschool. I like those Starbucks videos. I was a little nervous though. I don't like want to shit where I eat. I keep doing that to myself. So I was excited. I was nervous about making that video a little bit. I didn't want anyone to think that like I have anything against Philadelphia. Like, I tried to offer insight and options and just things that I thought would do better for the city, but I don't want to come at the city. So that was like a little scary. do attend. Is there another quick and inspired tattoo video in the works? Yes. You made me love Philly from how you talk about it. Philly's great, but being in DC was so nice. I really loved DC. DC was great. But you can check out my vlog. Everything is in there. And I had to split it into 2 parts, but I did rent a scooter. You should plot all the Toynbee tiles you guys find on like a little map of Philly. That way, 1, you can keep track of the ones you've found already, and 2, just for filing away. That's dope, yo. Hit me up. Hit me up. If you guys ever have ideas, just like hit me up. If any of you guys are ever just like, I made this graphic for you, like send it to me or ask me about it, or a chart or an icon or a cursor, a sound effect. Like, I would love to involve you guys as much as possible. I think that, you know, 1, I'm a freak, so maybe that inviting dialogue hasn't been there, but I would love to include you as much as possible. If you make the Toynbee graphic, I will put it in the video. I'll buy you a scooter, I swear. You probably get so many messages though. Twitter is the best way to reply to me. If you email me or things like that, or DM me on Instagram, I just feel like I consume messages on Twitter a little more directly. On Instagram, like I think my friend Shannon, you might know her because we follow each other online. She has like a weight loss Instagram, and she says like she gets a lot of defeating questions, and I think my Instagram like kind of turned into a little bit of that for me. Like I'll get some questions that I feel like, and I don't want to be rude, like don't value my time. Like I'll get a lot of questions that I feel like could really just easily be Googled, or that just like I said, like devalue my time or like depreciate my efforts. Or like I'll get a question where like I know I made the video for it, and it's like someone was probably on my channel for only 2 seconds and saw that I had an Instagram and just wanted to ask me directly, and it just makes me feel like, why did I make that video? So sometimes, like, because that attitude is a lot more present on Instagram than it is on Twitter, like it's just like there's 2 different cultures. Like the culture of Instagram is just a lot different than the culture of Twitter. I do have like a different like attitude, or just a different way of consuming the messages I get on Twitter. I like tweeted Shannon almost that like idea. Like on Instagram, I even turned off like people replying to my stories, which I felt really bad about doing. And I see bigger creators who still have it enabled, and like, you know, I get kind of envious because I wish I could grant that, and like I really should, and I really should like reply to more things, but I hope to get there. I do have a lot of restraint after just like some bad experiences that I hope to like get over, you know. But one time you liked my meme on Twitter and I died. But Twitter is a great way to contact me conversationally. Email is like very businessy, and then Instagram like honestly is a little disposable, which I do feel really guilty saying, and I'm already feeling regretful saying it because I think I'm not conveying it the correct way. But you're more likely to be drowned out on Instagram just because so much is going on, and so many people just message me hi, and it's insane to just the word hi, when it shows up in my inbox, it just makes me lose my mind. So I do feel bad too. I feel bad that I think that. But, I wouldn't say you should reply to more things. You get a lot of unwarranted shit, and by not allowing as much, you're taking care of yourself. That's true, and I do try to keep that in the forefront of my mind, and that was, like, what I was trying to tell Shannon as well. Like, when you limit your ability to be contacted, I think it does weed out a lot of the bullshit, too. A lot of the highs. Like, if somebody has to go on Twitter to contact me, they might think twice about, like, I don't know, asking how tall I am or something. I don't know. So, do you tend to recognize people who interact with you regularly? Yes. No, don't say hi. Well, I would say hi to you back. I definitely recognize the people who who interact with me regularly. And I also do favor them or, like, listen to them less critically, if that makes sense. That sounds a little harsh. I value their input more when I recognize them more, because I know that it's, like, more honest input. Like, if someone who comments and likes very often said something critical, it would matter more to me than someone I've never seen before just, like, saying something. It would be, like, constructive criticism from someone I recognize, and then from someone I don't recognize, I would consider it to be a little more aggressive, if that makes sense. So it's, like, more valuable. I've lurked for 2 years for the tats. They're here. The tats are here. So this year I do want to do more stuff with like the community and people in the community too. I reached out to, like, one creator I really like in Europe. But I haven't heard back from her yet. If you are a vegan person who lives in, like, a European country and you don't mind DMing me, I have a video idea. Same with Canada. I have a video idea. My Twitter is Quiet Cool Kid. My Instagram is Quiet Cool Kid. I believe if you type Quicken on Instagram, I will come up. My username has a rain cloud next to it. I have been on here for 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 13 seconds. So, I've been watching you for 3 years, but didn't start trying to get involved with the community until, like, a few weeks ago. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here and getting involved. Like I said, I do recognize the names, and I have a photographical memory. I'm really good with, like, icons and stuff like that. So, or if you, like, always leave the same emoji, my, like, dog brain can recognize that kind of thing. But thank you always, and try DMing Holly. She's a vegan illustrator in UK. Would you consider a Discord server? Hit me up about that, because I would. I was also thinking about having, like, a moderator for my Facebook. I had to make a Facebook to go Instagram business, and it's a nightmare, and I hate it, and it's a punishment to me. But a Discord sounds nice. I've had the same Jimmy Fallon icon for years. What color your hair? Oh my god, I went on Reddit last week for the first time, and they roasted the shit out of me. They tore me to pieces. They fucked me up. I talked to that guy from my class about it, and he was like, well, this is what you did wrong. But It's been 2 hours and 12 seconds, and Reddit is where dreams go to die. And I am going to call it a night. These live streams usually put a little tingle in my throat the next day, so we'll call it now. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out with me tonight. I really just wanted to talk to you guys. I feel like I've been doing so much behind the scenes stuff that, you know, helps my brain and helps strengthen my YouTube muscle, but I didn't really have much to show for it in the now. So thanks for talking to me and letting me like tease a couple things for you guys and giving me some good constructive things to think about. Thank you always to the channel members. You'll see them with their special Quicken Zombie icons. No, I cannot edit those. That's what you get. I'm so sorry. I have been watching a Resident Evil 2 gameplay, so it feels on brand currently. Usually makes no sense. But thanks again. Good night to everybody. And follow me on social and connect with me. I'm a real person who likes you. Follow me, damn it. That's what you want. You can always contact me on Twitter and replying to comments on my YouTube. Generally, like, that is a great way to at least work with the community as well. There's always a really good core group on there, and the replies it's not a toxic community at all, and I thank you guys for that. Anyway, love you guys and look forward to some stuff in the future. My collab with Morgan that I can be public about, a collab in the future that I can't be public about, collabs I have no idea about, and anyway, thank you guys so much. This live stream, as always, will be on my channel permanently in the future. I believe the beginning of it is dirt trash, though, so I might edit that out. But anyway, I love you guys. Taco night.